Why do galaxies spiral the same way as a snail's shell? You're about to discover that the patterns in your daily life are governed by the very same laws that shape the cosmos itself. As above, so below isn't just mystical poetry. It's a practical key hidden in plain sight that could transform your sense of meaning and connection. You might feel lost in a chaotic world, but what if the universe was reflecting your inner world back to you with every moment? Stay with me. It's time to crack the hidden code connecting you to everything. Everywhere you look, life pushes you toward the next task. Your phone vibrates before you're even out of bed. You move through the motions, shower, breakfast, emails, the same commute. The faces around you seem distracted, lost in their own routines. Underneath it all, there's a subtle sense that something isn't adding up. Even as you tick off your checklists and chase after goals, a quiet question lingers. Is this all there is? The days start to blur together, each one demanding productivity, each one promising fulfillment that never quite arrives. From early on, you're taught to zero in on the details, get through the week, meet expectations, climb whatever ladder is in front of you. The message is simple: stay busy, keep your head down, and the bigger questions will either answer themselves or stop mattering. It's practical, but it comes at a cost. The deeper questions about identity, purpose, and meaning fade into the background. Most people learn to treat them as distractions, not essentials. Even if you try every self-improvement trend, something feels off. You meditate, you journal, you chase after purpose, but there's always a wall you can't seem to get past. It's like standing outside your own life, watching from a distance. Everyone else appears to be managing, but if you look closely, that same sense of emptiness shows up in them too. The truth is, this isn't a personal flaw. It's the result of a system that quietly encourages you to focus on the surface, to separate yourself from something larger. Hermeticists warned that focusing only on external tasks blinds us to inner and cosmic ties. When you're caught up in the noise, it's easy to forget that you're part of a much bigger pattern. The research backs this up. Modern society often puts the individual at the center, emphasizing separation between mind and body, humanity and nature, the self and the universe. The result is a subtle but persistent feeling of isolation, as if you're cut off from a deeper code that once gave life its meaning. Take a walk through any city and you'll see the effects. People rush past each other, eyes locked on screens, conversations kept at the surface. Human connection feels thin, replaced by transactions and the silent sense that we're all moving through life alone. Nature gets walled off by concrete. The mind is measured by output, the body by endurance. The idea that you belong to something larger, something with direction, rarely gets any space. But this wasn't always the way things were. In the ancient world, people carried a different story. The Hermetic principle of correspondence, summed up in the phrase, "as above, so below," from the Emerald Tablet, described a universe where everything is connected. The stars weren't just distant lights. Their movements echoed the rhythms inside your heart. Your body wasn't a machine. It was a microcosm, a reflection of the cosmos. Nothing stood alone. This approach wasn't just poetic thinking. Civilizations were built on this vision, and daily life drew meaning from belonging to a greater whole. That pattern, the sense of connection between the inner and outer worlds, hasn't vanished. It's just faded from view. The blueprint for meaning is still there, hidden in plain sight, woven into the spirals of seashells, the branching of trees, and the thoughts that pass through your mind. The Hermetic message didn't disappear. It just got drowned out by a world that values separation. If you feel cut off, it isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a signpost pointing toward a pattern that's always been there, waiting to be noticed again. The ache of isolation is a clue, not a dead end. It hints at a code that once shaped entire civilizations, a code that still lives in the structure of nature, in your body, and even in your thoughts. The question isn't whether the pattern exists, but whether you can start to see it again. Because the same blueprint that shaped the cosmos might be present in the smallest details of your own existence. Patterns aren't just out there in the stars or hidden deep in the ocean. They're right here, running through your body and mind. Hidden codes shape everything from the curve of your ear to the way thoughts ripple through your consciousness. Early alchemists called this principle correspondence, claiming a galaxy's swirl and a shell's curl follow the same divine geometry as your DNA. The golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence aren't just abstract math. They're the fingerprints of a design that repeats itself at every scale. Take a closer look at your own hands, the whorls in your fingerprints, the proportions of your face, even the way your blood vessels branch out, all echo the same ratios found in the spiral of a sunflower or the arms of a distant galaxy. When you see a sunflower's seed spiraling out from the center, that's the Fibonacci sequence in action. Each number in the sequence is the sum of the two before it. And this math isn't limited to plants. You'll find it in pine cones, the branching of trees, and the double helix of DNA. This isn't a coincidence or some mystical flourish. It's evidence that your body and mind are built on the same code that structures the universe. Hermeticism, the tradition rooted in the Emerald Tablet, took this seriously. For Hermetic thinkers, the universe wasn't divided into separate realms. Instead, everything was connected by a set of underlying laws. The microcosm, the world inside you, mirrored the macrocosm, the vast world outside. If the cosmos and the self share the same patterns, then understanding one gives you insight into the other. This idea wasn't just poetic, it was a practical guide for living, a way to find meaning and direction in a world that often feels chaotic. Modern science, for a long time, tried to break things down into isolated parts. Biology, physics, and astronomy were treated as separate fields. But as research advances, those boundaries start to blur. Sacred geometry, once the domain of mystics, now appears everywhere, from the spirals of DNA to the structure of hurricanes. The golden ratio shows up in the proportions of the human body, in the arrangement of leaves, and in the orbits of planets. The same code repeats. Whether you're looking through a microscope or a telescope, quantum physics takes this connection even further. Non-locality shows that two particles, once linked, can affect each other no matter how far apart they are. It's as if distance doesn't matter. What happens to one echoes in the other, like a cosmic resonance. The holographic principle suggests that every part of the universe contains the blueprint of the whole. Strip away the technical language, and you hear something familiar. The Hermetic idea that the part reflects the whole, that the inside and outside are never truly separate. This isn't just theory or abstract science. History is full of people who sensed these echoes and let them guide their work. Leonardo da Vinci searched for the same proportions in the human body and in the structure of plants. Sketching golden rectangles and spirals into his notebooks, he wasn't inventing beauty. He was uncovering a code that already existed. Physicist David Bohm saw the universe as a single, unbroken whole, where mind and matter are intertwined. Psychologist Carl Jung called these meaningful correspondences synchronicities, showing inner states and outer events mirror one another. And Nikola Tesla famously said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Whether through art, science, or psychology, the message is the same. The patterns inside you are not separate from the patterns outside. Artists and composers have tapped into these codes, often without realizing it. Music structured on the Fibonacci sequence feels naturally harmonious, resonating with us on a level that's hard to explain. Visual artists, drawn to certain proportions, create works that feel universally compelling. These creators aren't imposing order, they're tuning into a structure that's already there, woven into the fabric of reality and the human mind. So what does all this mean for you? If the worlds of your fingerprints and the structure of your thoughts echo the architecture of the cosmos, then your life isn't random or isolated. Your choices, emotions, and even your struggles are part of a larger pattern, one that connects you to everything else. The same forces that guide the growth of a tree or the formation of a galaxy are at work in your own growth, your challenges, and your transformation. Understanding these hidden codes isn't just about seeing patterns. It's about realizing you have a role in the ongoing design. This realization opens the door to a different kind of transformation, Instead of seeing yourself as separate or powerless, you begin to recognize that change is possible from the inside out. The next step is to look at how ancient traditions like alchemy use these patterns, not just to understand the world but to change it, starting with the self. Alchemy of the self isn't about chasing gold in a laboratory, it's about transforming the raw material of your mind and spirit. The true work takes place within, where ordinary habits, flaws, and even your deepest doubts can be refined into something clear and purposeful. Ancient alchemists used coded language to hide this inner journey, but the message was always there for those willing to look past the surface. The process wasn't about changing metals, it was about changing the self. Most people imagine transformation as something reserved for experts or those with special knowledge, but the Hermetic teaching of as above, so below overturns that idea. The Kybalion calls this the principle of correspondence, teaching that as man creates mentally, so the all creates the universe mentally. In this view, the above is the realm of spirit, thought, and intention, your beliefs, archetypes, and imagination. The below is matter, your body, your habits, your daily experiences. Alchemists saw these realms as mirrors. Their task was to unite them, bringing intention into action and reshaping the physical world with the force of mind. You might wonder how a thought can shape reality. Thoughts are more than private stories. They serve as the bridge between invisible intention and the tangible world. Rituals, meditation, and focused intention are practical tools for building that bridge. They aren't mystical distractions. They move potential into fact, turning ideas into changes you can see and feel. This is why magical systems, from Hermeticism to modern manifestation, rely on aligning inner consciousness with outer reality. When you focus your mind with purpose, you set the stage for real transformation. Consider what it means to refine base matter in yourself. In alchemical texts, symbolizes what is dull, heavy, and resistant. Your fears, your habits, your defense mechanisms. The process of turning lead into gold is a metaphor for refining your own struggles and flaws. The gold is clarity, self-mastery, and unity. When you examine your shadow, confront shame or fear, and bring focused attention to your inner life, you're following the same steps as the ancient alchemist. Only now, the laboratory is your mind. This transformation unfolds in 3 classic stages described in Hermetic texts and alchemical manuscripts tracing back to the Emerald Tablet. The first stage, Nigredo or blackness, is where you face darkness and ego death, what many call hitting rock bottom. It's a period of confusion, loss, or crisis when old patterns break down. The second stage, Albedo or whiteness, brings purification. Here, clarity replaces confusion as you burn away what no longer serves you. Finally, rubedo or redness marks the union with your higher self, a sense of integration and enlightenment, the true goal of the process. What does this look like in daily life? Imagine sitting quietly, focusing inward, and setting a clear intention to be less driven by anxiety, for example. With each breath, you visualize worry melting away, being refined bit by bit. Over time, your behavior shifts. You act with more calm, people notice the difference, and even your circumstances begin to change. That small act of focused intention becomes an alchemical fire, burning away old tendencies and revealing something more valuable than metal. It can be as simple as lighting a candle or writing down your intention. The props don't matter. What matters is the unity of thought and action, bringing the pattern from above into your lived experience. This isn't just mystical language. Rituals, sigil magic, and meditation are effective because they align inner consciousness with outer reality, allowing divine patterns to manifest in physical life. Modern research backs up what alchemists intuited. Studies on intention and visualization show measurable changes in mood, resilience, and even physical outcomes when people focus their minds with purpose. Athletes, patients in recovery, and anyone using creative visualization tap into a process as old as Hermeticism, even if they call it by a different name. The key is that your reality isn't fixed. The boundaries between your thoughts and the world around you are more flexible than you've been taught. When you work on your inner landscape, you send ripples into the outer world. Just as an alchemist shapes metal with fire and patience, you shape your life with intention and awareness. Still, even as you begin to see this power within, there's another question waiting. If transformation comes from uniting above and below, why does the world seem so divided, split into opposites, light and dark, good and bad? The urge to separate and categorize is everywhere, from society structures to your own mind. The next step is to confront the illusion of separation itself and see what ancient wisdom reveals about the unity beneath the surface. You live in a world that constantly asks you to choose sides, good or bad, light or dark, mind or body. Everywhere you turn, you're pushed to sort experience into neat boxes. Society thrives on these divisions, building entire systems around us and them, right and wrong, winning and losing. Even your own thoughts and emotions get chopped up, measured, and separated as if nothing connects beneath the surface. But Hermeticism sees light and dark as polarities of the same underlying energy, not separate forces. The moment you start to question whether these divisions are real, you start to see the cracks in the story you've been told. The Hermetic principle, as above so below, isn't just about similarities between the cosmos and your life. It's a direct challenge to the illusion of separation. Polarities exist, but they're not absolute. They're just two ends of the same spectrum, expressions of a single underlying source. This flips the script on how you're taught to see the world. Instead of enemies locked in battle, opposites become partners in a dance, each one revealing something about the whole. You've probably felt this in your own life. One anxious thought in the morning can ripple out, coloring your entire day and even affecting the people around you. Or you find a moment of clarity, and suddenly your interactions shift, opportunities open, and reality seems to cooperate. The above in your mind radiates into the below of your daily experience, and sometimes the world mirrors it right back. Collective moods, whether in families or entire societies, show how inner states and outer events are woven together. It's not just coincidence. It's a hidden code at work. Modern science now circles back to what ancient wisdom always suggested. Quantum entanglement shows particles remain connected across space, echoing the resonance between mind and matter, while the holographic principle suggests each fragment holds the design of the whole, mirroring the ancient microcosm, macrocosm view. The observer effect goes further. Consciousness doesn't just witness reality, it shapes it. These discoveries don't just belong in textbooks. They point to a universe where everything is linked, no matter how far apart things may seem. Hermetic teachings insist that this interconnectedness isn't just spiritual poetry, it's the real structure of existence. As the Kabbalion puts it, there's a harmony, agreement, and correspondence between the several planes of manifestation, pointing to oneness beneath apparent divisions. You're not a separate observer, cut off from the world. You're a participant in a pattern that runs through everything: your thoughts, your actions, your body, and the universe itself. This isn't just a theory to sit and ponder. The real challenge is to move from knowing about oneness to actually living it. What would happen if you acted as though the universe truly was reflected in you, and you in it? Making the principle of as above, so below real isn't about waiting for a mystical moment. It's about using practical tools to bridge your inner world and your outer life. Right now, the tension is familiar. You read about these truths, maybe catch a glimpse of connection in a quiet moment, but daily routines pull you back into old habits. Still, there are concrete ways to bring cosmic alignment into your day-to-day reality. Journaling and meditation serve as inner-outside mirrors. Daily writing reveals thought-reality patterns, and meditation tunes your mind to universal patterns, just as Hermetic correspondence advises. When you track your thoughts and reactions in a journal, you start to see how your internal state echoes in your experiences. A stressful week, a string of coincidences, even the way people respond to you. Meditation takes this further, letting you sit in quiet awareness and connect with what some traditions call universal intelligence. These aren't abstract rituals, they're repeatable practices that let you witness the link between your mind and what unfolds around you. Simple rituals help anchor this alignment. Lighting a candle with intention, repeating affirmations like, "I am capable," or I attract positive energy. These are more than habits. They're ways to insert new patterns into your subconscious. This parallels modern studies showing visualization and intention can measurably improve resilience and mood, validating what Hermetic practitioners knew centuries ago. Mindfulness, whether it's focusing on your breath or noticing the taste of your morning coffee, keeps you grounded in the present, aware of how your thoughts shape your reality. These small acts accumulate, shifting your sense of agency and connection. Paying attention to synchronicities, the moments when your thoughts seem to align with outside events, reinforces the principle at work. When you notice these patterns, you start to see your life as a conversation between the inside and the outside. Balance doesn't mean ignoring negative thoughts, it means noticing them, understanding their source, and choosing where to focus next. Harmony comes from aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with what you truly value. If you've tried these exercises, share a breakthrough in the comments. Your experience may be the synchronicity someone else needs. The more you practice, the more you begin to sense that the universe isn't just something out there. There's something hidden within every breath, waiting to be noticed. Rather than studying the universe as an outsider, Hermeticism shows you're the universe experiencing itself through your thoughts and actions. The core message of as above, so below is that your internal world shapes the fabric of your external reality. Ancient Hermetic wisdom suggests real change starts within. The patterns you notice in your memories, hopes, and ideas set the stage for what emerges in the world around you. What patterns have you uncovered that connect your life to the cosmos? Share your story below. Hit subscribe if you want more insights into how ancient wisdom and modern science converge. Join our community exploring the cosmos within.